Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 98 of the Casual Weebs podcast. An insane week. We got to get into a couple of these animes that have been dropping. And it's funny because we truly are blessed and cursed with how stacked these seasons are. Literally, we're just talking about how next season, even though it's going to have like 30 amazing fucking animes that are like must watch and like incredible and like we're super excited for, we're like, we got to cut back. Because the spirit of anime and being a weeb and just loving this is binge watching it like a degenerate at 2 a.m. And when you watch this many each and every week, it's hard to do that. It becomes like a job trying to keep up with everything that's coming out. So, yes, are we eating good? Yes. It is also a curse. It is like, we're screwed.
And if that was our job, that would be perfect. I would watch everything under the sun. But unfortunately, I have an actual job. I do like my job a lot, but
Yeah.
it consumes far too much of my time compared to how much I'd like to be watching.
Yeah, and we need that, especially because Crunchyroll just loves upping its prices all of the time. Even they don't add anything, they just take away, like, we haven't said in a while, the fucking comment section. But anyways, let's get
Thank
right.
you, thank you.
Yeah.
Double down on it.
Anyways, let's get right into it. Let's talk about Fire Force. It's one we haven't talked about in several weeks. It's been building up, and I have a lot of good things to say. I have a lot of bad things to say about this Arthur fight and also where Fire Force has kind of been this season because I feel like it's in a bad state. I feel like the last season, I wouldn't call it bad, I wouldn't call it Fire Force. This season has had zero hype, zero excitement the entire time. And I feel like that's what's been missing from it. And like this Arthur fight brought back what is Fire Force. The sounds incredible. The fight that kept you on the edge of your seat, incredible. The animation, amazing. You know what I mean? Like it was perfect. But like we also needed this all season long. Like Fire Force has been rough this season, but this definitely is like all right. This is a good fight. This is a good episode.
I agree. Like, I feel like this season, like, I really agree with you in the sense that, like, I have a lot of good things to say,
Mm-hmm.
but I have some bad things to say. As somebody who didn't read the manga until, like, basically the end of, like, watching the anime,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like how like a hardcore Fire Force fan would feel about the pacing and like what are they cutting out, what's anime only, na. It's a little tough to tell, but I feel like this was the first episode of the season where you were like, "Yo, this is crazy!" Like you're on the edge of your seat, like you said. But also we got that sound design, those bass drops, those crazy, just like little instances that like catch your attention. Whereas anime is like very visual. Fire Force is, for me at least, kind of the goat of like
Oh yeah.
auditory auditory like
Mm-hmm.
experience, and we really got that. Like the dragon's breath attack, like the hype for some of that was so good, and like the sound design. I think Fire Force is the goat for that, but this was the first fight where I was like, all right, sick, we're fucking here, this is lit.
Well, and I say that too, but it's like to an extent because the Benny Morrow fight was also fucking sick, but like it didn't feel like it lasted like as long. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty straightforward and kind of just like building up to his move. So like I think it was definitely like much needed and awesome. And I think it's so funny because it's literally the highest rated episode of the year by a margin. Apparently, it dropped at a perfect 10, and then it got review bombed, and then I saw it like a 9.9, but it could also be like a 9.8 at this point. But like highest rated, and it's so funny because it follows the most dog shit episode of the year with the what's her face, the cat girl, her episode, her fight, fucking sucked.
Tamaki,
Yeah,
yeah, dude, Tamaki, like,
so bad.
and like I guess I have a little more, I don't want to say respect, but I'm a little less critical of like the whole Tamaki thing rather than just being fan service and like, the young
Mm-hmm.
teenager, schoolgirl, cat girl, warrior trope all put into one character. They kind of like did it justice with like the, whole like freedom of, I forget how they phrase it. I
Dude,
don't want to say like sexual. Was it
lewdness.
sexuality?
It's like lewdness.
Lewdness.
Yeah.
And everybody like likes to see a little titty every now and again, but like at the right place and time. At the end of the world, that's probably the last thing I'm thinking about. So like for that to like get, yeah, like a perfect 10 was a hard sell. And I don't want to like trash Fire Force because like I'm watching it every week. I do enjoy it. I think it's fun. We've had some really good stuff, but
Mm.
it hasn't brought it all together like an anime, Sentenced to be a Hero, for example. Like week to week, that shit is delivering, and it's like really like got me following closely. Like Fire Force, I think until this week really hasn't kind of brought the heat. Even the fight with Benny Mara was cool, but like it's still. I mean, these are like the end game fights. Like Dragon and Arthur is like kind of the penultimate fight. We still have like Fairy and um Shinra and like I think her name's Halmia.
Yeah.
Like we still have like some major characters to go, but I mean we all love Arthur. He's the Night King, but it felt very short. Like even just like maybe 3/4 of one episode dedicated to him and Dragon's fight.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, he kind of no diffed him. I mean, he does kind of get blasted in half, but for like a kid who has a wild imagination and doesn't really live in reality, for him to smoke like a world builder like that, I was like, all right, bro. It felt a little like disingenuous or like not hard enough for Arthur.
Well, like, okay, so going back to Tamaki thing, I think Tamaki was shit, and that they doubling down was the fucking dumbest thing because she's what 16. I think make your stand on business on like the Captain Five, like the District Five person, like the MILF. All right, if you want to stand on business with like, oh yeah, like freeing of the body, like bro, like, don't do it like a child.
Thank
Like
you.
the one
Thank you.
mom was like the mom and the kid ended up having that argument, right? And she's like, he's like, oh, you don't like her because she's young and hot, and she's like, maybe. I'm like, she's a child. No, I think that's the problem. I think
Well,
that's
yeah,
the.
you're like,
What do you mean? And then also,
somebody was like, kid, no, don't take that angle, bro. Do not say
well,
that.
the mom was like, oh yeah, like that was the case. It was like, wait, what? Like you have no problem with her age? Like it's like, just so fucking stupid. And at the same time, too, Tamaki's whole thing isn't even lewdness; it's like sexual assault. Because every time she fights, she's just straight up in her underwear, and she's getting like inappropriately like grabbed. And it's like, oh yeah, like this is good, guys. It's like, dude, Fire Force doubling down on that. The most cringe and pathetic thing I've ever seen. It's so fucking shit. But then they followed up with Arthur's episode, which I thought was really good. The only thing is that like the only thing where I'd be like, it's not a 9.9 or a 10 in my opinion, is because it felt very endgame of Naruto, where it's like, okay, we're in space now. You know what I mean? Arthur literally can't breathe, but yet he's screaming and chilling out, you know what I mean, and fighting. Like, what do you mean? You just said he couldn't breathe. How is he doing all of that? You know, they're fighting to save the Earth, right? Dragon's trying to destroy it. He's trying to save it. He cut the fucking Earth in half. Okay? What do you mean? Okay, you beat Dragon,
Yo.
but you also accomplished Dragon's mission. What? How does that make any sort of fucking sense? Bro is cut in half with a missing arm, and he's like, Shinra, brother, I'll be there soon. I just gotta rest up a little bit. It's like, you're like dead, bro.
Running away.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you? How are you talking like you're chilling, like you're ready? Like I'm so confused. It got too out of hand. At the same time, though, I did think it was cool because right now the world is in mass hysteria. Like that's kind of the thing with the whole moon and everything, where everyone's imaginations are kind of just making reality fucking non-existent. So like I kind of see it there, but like to me that felt very much like when I was watching the end of Naruto, where it's like, okay, we're literally destroying planets now. You know what I mean? It's like this is fucking insane.
I'm totally with you, and like it felt a little too easy for Arthur. And I know they fought, I think, back in I don't know if they call it season 2 or like season 3 part
No, it was
1.
at the beginning of the season that just came out. It was like the very beginning, I think, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah, and like he loses and all that, and basically Sister Iris bails him out. But
Mm-hmm.
like I just didn't quite hit maybe as hard as I wanted it to. And I think you can, just use your shonen reading comprehension abilities and understand that Arthur's probably going to beat Dragon. Like it's built up that way.
Yeah.
I did really love the 8-bit video game-esque graphics. Him teleporting.
Mm-hmm.
He finds the ring of the star or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I can breathe and fight perfectly in outer space."
That
now.
was the ring that they gave him. So that's the whole thing I like with Arthur. A part of his like, character building, like who he is that the past couple seasons they've made it like he's in a video game, and he keeps talking about it like he is. So if you remember when he got lost in like the power plant, and they found him, he's like, guys, I did the recovery mission, like the side quest. I'm like, oh, here, Arthur, here's a ring. Like we got a ring for you. He's like, a reward, yes. And then he just pocketed it, and then that's where it came back. They just gave that to him.
I do kind of like that. Like at first, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's such like an easy cop out. But then like you remember the story and everything, and like it's kind of cool. I do like that aspect of Arthur's character,
Yeah.
especially like later in the season, because it does kind of fit in with the whole cataclysm and like just raw absurdity of what reality's become at this point.
Mhm.
So like it kind of does fit, but I don't know. I don't want to like trash the season or like these episodes, but in a way like they haven't hit, but they're still good. I'm coming back week to week. Like I did enjoy this fight, but yeah, like bro gets his whole like lower torso blown off and like an arm. He's like, all right, Shinra, I'll be there. I'll see you soon. It's like, you're not even on Earth right now, brother.
Yeah.
Like, and he does cut the Earth in half. Very sick animation. Like that was really, really cool. Like there's a lot to love in this episode. And like, yeah, going back to your point on Tamaki, like very frustrating, but in a way, like, I kind of see how they're tying in like some of these like ludicrous aspects of the story to like the absurdity that is the Cataclysm.
Hmm.
Is it great? Not every time. Does it work? I would say yeah, but yeah, definitely. I guess I was just surprised, bro. Like Arthur, low diff dragon. You know, like he didn't really train. He didn't like specify any of his like abilities or attacks to him. He just like beats the fuck out of him.
So I don't
He gets
know.
his ass kicked, but like kind of goes both
I
ways.
don't know if this is like a spoiler or if it matters, but I saw someone talking about it and like it makes sense and it is really cool. So Shinra is a pillar, right? Each
Yeah.
pillar has a guardian. Arthur's is Shinra's guardian. The one who's always been by his side, the one who's always protected him, who's always fought with him. So what's really cool is that we're against like the whatever the cult is. I forget the name of it because we can't keep up with any of this shit. And we're fighting a lot of the guardians. The pillars have disappeared, like Shinra into some other verse, or like dimension, and we're fighting their guardians right now. They're trying to carry it out. Well, Arthur's is Shinra's. You know what I mean? So we kind of expect him to kind of be built to ass a little bit. You know what I mean? As his guardian, he's gonna do shit like that.
Yeah, I totally knew that the whole time.
Dude, I saw a TikTok on it today. I don't know if it's like a spoiler or something that like matters like later on, but like, at
No,
the same time, it's sick.
so because of partly also the narration in this episode was
Mm-hmm.
really good. Very rarely are you like, oh, the narrator was sick, but I felt they did a good job.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm like, oh, it's Sho. Sho is a fucking pillar himself. He
Mm-hmm.
can't be Shinra's guardian if he's also a pillar.
Yeah.
Oh, you're clearly not a JJK reading comprehension
Bro,
devil Vic.
nah, bro. I saw a TikTok on it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually pretty sick. That makes a whole lot of fucking sense. You know what I mean? The only thing that
Damn,
I
it
thought that was
does.
like a kind of like a plot hole with that though is that who would be Iris's? Because Iris is the last pillar. I guess it would be the eighth.
The girl in the fifth division,
Oh, her
no
sister. Well, like her sister.
sister,
Yeah,
yeah,
the captain of the fifth division. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But like,
yeah, bronze skin beauty.
dude just steps on people. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind you making a stand on Lucas, you know what I mean? And being like, if you work hard for a nice body and you want to like show it off, go for it. Just do it with her. The beauty from what Division 5. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Hot as shit.
And like she's like a cool like mystical character. She's got some like serious lore involvement in the story.
It's also already
So
worked into
Aki's
her.
useless.
Yeah, it's also worked into her character already. The way like she steps on people and shit. You know what I mean? Like it fits. You know, it works. But they're just like, yeah, no. The 15-year-old, that one would work. It's like, you guys are just fucking
He's the one.
cringe, bro. It's so weird. And like that's where I can kind of see people hating on Fire Force and be like, yeah, I'm not defending that. It is what it is. But moving forward, it is gonna be cool to see like where they go with it because right now the world is straight up breaking and being destroyed. I'm pretty sure. Like it seemed pretty much in half, and they're like, "Oh yeah, guys, Arthur won. That's fucking dope." Like, guys,
It was Arthur.
the Earth is literally crumbling right now. Like, what are we celebrating for? So it's gonna be cool to see next episode, like where it goes from there. But dude, amazing fight. I thought it was really cool.
Really cool. Love those like little treats from the sound design crew for
Mhm.
Fire Force. Really, really well done. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the end of it. I want to know how Sho fits in, and like the end with Shinra, like his.
You read the manga,
his.
right? You're caught up on everything.
I just read like the very, very end of it because I didn't want to spoil like the anime portion of it because
Okay.
I knew it was ending. So I don't really know how Sho kind of fits in or
Oh,
like
I do. It's
Palmia or
crazy.
anything.
I'm not gonna say anything.
I just know like, no, I know Shinra's badass as fuck though at the very end, and that's all I needed to know. So it'll be cool. Just stick with it. Keep rocking with it.
That's the problem because like we're like so close to the end. I started getting all like the spoilers on TikTok by accident, so I know exactly how
Yeah,
it
true.
ends, and I'm like, it's fucking sick. It's cool. It's worth it. It's worth the build up. But yeah, what else do you expect from like a shonen? Like they have to end in these like insane
Yeah.
galaxy breaking factions. You know what I mean? Naruto is the same way. Like all of these animes are all like that, where like you spend like so much time like building strength in these shonens, and then when you get to the end, it just becomes so like outlandish. It's insane, but it leads to some badass fights. And Fire Force is no fucking exception, especially with the way that this is going to end up ending.
I feel like it's just like that. I always go back to DBZ. Like I grew up on that as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Goku. I still deep down in my heart believe I can turn Super Saiyan, even as an adult man.
Mm-hmm.
But like the power system and the scaling, like it just gets so crazy and shonen. Sometimes it's hard to like reel it in or like come to a conclusion that feels realistic. But
Yeah.
yeah, Fire Force, it is crazy, but it's really, really good.
So speaking of crazy, JJK, that is something that we are gonna have to get into. we talked about it last week about the domain expansion. We're like, yo, bro, like just got his powers. How the fuck is he able to just go domain expansion and have like work? They explained it this episode. I thought that that was really cool. The way that like sorcerers back then were like so intent on being like, all right, it needs to be a kill shot, right? Like they created domain expansion to be way more lethal, where it's a guaranteed kill, and because of that, it became way harder to produce, to make, to build, right? But back then, it was skill issue. You know what I mean? They're just trying to hit a fucking shot.
Yeah.
They're just trying to land a hit. And it seems like that's what he developed. It's like my domain expansion isn't this fucking one tap fucking insta kill thing. It's just a part of his fighting. You know what I mean? It's very not as strong, so it's not as hard to do. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. Because the fact that he like just got like awakened and he's already like domain expansion, like kind of like fucking Thanos. You know what I mean? I thought that was dumb, but it makes sense now.
And this episode also shows you like the way he uses the gavel and like he keeps like throwing it and like making it longer and like wider. Like he's not obviously smart. He's a fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
But like he's really sharp as a sorcerer. And they do say that like his classmates consider him a genius, but the only thing he was ever better at was fucking being a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So like I appreciated how they kind of like broke that down because it does feel a bit absurd at first, like when you get to the end of the previous episode. But like I think when you step back and think about it, like you think about Skuna, 1,000 years old, was fighting like the toughest of the tough, like the golden age of sorcerers. His two main abilities are like not just like a kill shot, they're like nukes. Getting trapped in the shrine and the fire arrow, which we haven't gone into, but some story for
I have a
another
feeling
day.
we will.
But like they're like nuclear options. Like it's more than just like a kill shot on one sorcerer. Gojo is the same way, like an absolute nuke on one person.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jogo, the volcano guy, like I mean, he really only went up against like the toughest people in the verse. Literally the strongest sorcerer of today and of history.
Kind of
So like I feel
insane
like he
when you
gets
think
overlooked.
about it.
Quite the card. He was 0 for 2, but quite the feats.
Yeah.
But like his domain would be like an absolute nuke in the Cullen games. He would kill most of the sorcerers. We do see that in the Shibuya incident. I'm trying to think like without going too far into like the whole domain thing. Most of them are pretty lethal now, but like they're nothing like kind of like you said what we saw back in the day, like Kenjaku, Skuna, Hajime Kashimo is like a reincarnated sorcerer. We meet a bunch of them in the Yuta fight at the end of the season. Like they're a different beast, but it's because it was a different age of sorcery. And like they kind of like for once, very rare JJKW, they tell you that. Like if you stop and think about it, like which we usually don't, JJK fans, we usually don't. But like it kind of does make sense and line up with like the plot and everything. So Higuruma being like this genius, not only like aligns in his sorcery, but like kind of in history too. I think it does really make sense.
Okay, so I have a question with that though. He's gonna have to die, right? So like kind of skipping ahead here, Yuji, they kind of get to the end. He's like, all right, you know what? I'll give you my points. They're using the first 100 points to make a rule that you can transfer points between people, so you can constantly keep it moving and kind of build the points up faster. As of right now, the only way to get them is to kill the sorcerer, right?
Oh, so he has 102 points, I think, from killing all these sorcerers, but then he killed two innocent people, the judge and the prosecutor in the trial of his like backstory episode. So like I think you get 1 point for every like just random person you kill. So he spends the 100 points to make the rule of point transfer.
That makes sense. He makes his rule.
Gives Yuji a point, and then he holds a point. So like they are both good for 19 days or whatever the culling game rule is. Also the craziest rules in any anime ever.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, while you're watching this, remember 9 different rules
that are
changing.
All, like,
it's big.
Yeah.
It's changing. Just classic JJK. But like, he does point out in this episode that he killed the prosecutor and the judge in his domain, and like that's why he gives Yuji a point to like set him free for the next 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's also good.
I did think that the trial, the first one, was stupid. Because what was it? It was like, oh yeah, Yuji's convicted because he went into the casino, right? And
I
like,
forgot about that.
And he's like, Your Honor, I went in because I had to shit, right? And they're like, okay, well, here's our evidence. Here's you at an ATM. And they're like...
What you thought about?
No, but like...
He was like, oh, if they have photo evidence, I went in there. Like, he's like, I'm pretty screwed.
But
so
that's
like,
the thing, though. The him at an ATM, how does that prove anything? Okay, is it illegal to withdraw money? They're trying to get an intent from a fucking picture, which makes no sense.
So he goes in... I totally forgot about this from reading the manga. It was also a while ago, but he goes into a pachinko parlor. Very fucking fun. People will lose everything in there. It's like a real casino. Very
Sounds
fun.
great. Sounds like a
When I
blast.
when I went to Osaka, I saw a guy bust out of the doors at like 11 a.m. of a pachinko parlor. I'm like, oh, I'll stop in, and he's just like screaming, like rolling on the ground. I'm like, oh, we're here, bro. We're really gambling here.
Yeah.
So like, pachinko's mad fucking popular, but he's like, oh, like I did go in there, and like they see him playing on the games and shit. Like Yuji knows what he did, but he's like, all right, so I can lie about it. I can say I never went there, or I can make up an excuse of why I had to go.
Hmm.
But if they have picture evidence of me playing the game, I'm screwed. So that's the option he chooses anyway, and they have a picture of him at the cash exchange for like the tickets you win, then you would get money for it.
Oh, so I think I got
Which is
confused with
also
the
like,
translation where I thought that he was withdrawing money from an ATM, which they like, oh, that means your intent to go in and gamble. And I'm like, how does
I
that
feel
have
like
any intent? But I
like if
get
you
it
win a
now.
bunch of chips in blackjack, you got to
Yeah.
take them to the
Okay.
window, and that's where they got a picture of him. He literally thought about it and was like, all right, fuck. So they take his curse technique. Well, he doesn't have one, so they take his curse energy. Yuji's still tough as shit without it. And Higuruma's
Yeah.
like, yo, this guy is like no fucking
Yeah,
joke.
he even said, he's like, this guy's indestructible, bro.
And then like I will say for the very first time in the show, Yuji is like intellectually sharp in the middle of a fight. He
Hmm.
gets smashed by this massive sledgehammer, and then he's like, think. I need a retrial. You can always get a second trial. And
Hmm.
Higuruma's like, ooh, damn, all right. What happened on Halloween in Shibuya? And you're like,
And then
whoa,
he
this is way different.
instantly confesses too. And dude,
Bro,
that fucking
and
judge thing, fucking so sick. The way he started like bleeding and it was like, you're fucking guilty or whatever, dude.
I
Awesome.
hope the anime did it incredible justice because like you get 2 or 3 panels like it's just Yuji's face. He's like, I'm not lying. I'm not trying to deny it. I killed those people. And then Higuruma's like, well, it was Sukuna. He didn't do it. And the judge man is just like, death penalty. And like the stitches in
Yeah.
his eyes burst out. You get blood everywhere. Really, really well done. Again, it's Mappa. That's what we have come to know and love.
I think the whole technique of like the court thing too was just so fucking cool and just so it made a fight into a game. You know what I mean? Which I thought was awesome. And now that I understand the first trial better now, because I got confused with the translation or whatever. Like, dude, it was so cool. You know what I mean? Like the way it plays out.
It was really cool. And like the fact is you can like lose and you lose your curse technique and then demand a retrial
But
and
you
they
can
charge you for
win.
something else.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like very interesting. And like, oh, let's bring a lawyer character into the mix. Like in a violent world of like magic and sorcery, it's like, oh,
Hmm.
this is really cool. And like without spoiling anything, Higuruma, obviously he becomes a team player because he likes Yuji and like he feels bad for him, so he hooks him up. We get to see his domain one more time, and it is like I thought that was the end of the show. Higuruma's gonna save the day. It is fucking crazy. So like we do get more of
Okay.
Higuruma. He's an awesome character. I don't want to spoil anything, but we do get to see his domain
I
again.
wonder
That's
what
all
it
I'm
would
gonna
have
say.
been like if Megami went there instead. If him and Yuji were
Probably
swapped.
would have got his ass beat.
You don't think Megami would have done well in court?
This guy in court. And like even after reading Modulo, which is like the sequel,
Mhm.
everyone's like, what if Maharaga had to stand in court with with the judge man?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, he would clearly just become like prime Saul Goodman or like prime Judge Judy and like out trial the fucking opponent. I find it so funny, but like I don't know. I would like to think about Megumi versus him. I think Megumi in his mindset is like, well, I'll just kill these people.
Hmm.
First off, you're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Well, I mean, he figured out the
Megumi probably wouldn't.
constellation technique like pretty fucking quick. Even having the bullshit like knowledge of it, still figuring it out and then figuring out how it works. Like he is pretty quick. He is pretty smart,
He's
and
really smart.
we did get
Megumi's
their
always
test
been very
grades.
smart.
We have gotten their like test grades in the beginning of the season to show just how fucking stupid Yuji is. So we did see he's like a 9.0. Like he is pretty smart. So I wondered like if like it swapped and he was on trial, would he be able to bullshit his way out of it and like talk and like win?
Megumi's also better at like negotiation. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Yuji's just not fucking smart. And like even when he first pulls up to Higuruma, he's like, I forget the rules. Like I don't really know how to like talk my way out of this. I think I'll just fight. And then he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, domain expansion. You're like, well, Megumi would have done much better there.
Yeah.
And he like literally walks in the door and Yuji's like, yeah, we need your help. I need your points. That's pretty much a threat, like given this situation. But I think Megumi would have done a lot better with Higuruma. But it's funny because, well, we'll see next week. You'll see next week.
Well,
But they both put them in positions where they like would be more uncomfortable than advantageous if you switch.
so when we get to Megami, we're gonna say that Yuji would have been better in his situation too.
Yuji would have fucked Reggie up in like half an episode. He would have beat the piss out of Reggie.
So that is leading to the next thing. I wonder what people are gonna think or react because I was told that this is the last episode with Yuji in it for a while. Now we've talked a lot about JJK, in the podcast and videos, and we've talked about like, yeah, Yuji's not the main character. As much as I want to have Yuji be the main character and constantly follow him, like JJK doesn't give a fuck. They constantly move on to other things. The movie had nothing to do with Yuji. Season 2, the beginning of it had nothing to do with Yuji. We're kind of back to all right. We're moving to the second, different areas. How do you think people are gonna react to that? Where it's like, all right, first half of the season, Yuji was in it. He was like the main character, but now we're just like, yeah, we're just not gonna see him for a minute. Do you think it's gonna maybe cause more controversy in the JJK community, or do you think people are gonna be like, all right, no, this is just how JJK is. It's gonna be cool to see other people in their fights and in different colonies.
I think my first reaction is like, it's good you have a really deep cast. We have great characters: Nobara, Megumi, Hikari,
Mm-hmm.
Inumaki, Panda. Like, there's a ton of great side characters, and Yuji doesn't really feel like the main character, but he was also the third pick. Like, Akutami wanted to do Gigi or Yuta first, and then he was like, "Oh, Megami should be the main character."
Yeah.
And then he like changed his mind, and like his editors were like, "Nah, don't do that." So like Yuji was never fleshed out as like the main character in the same sense that like a Naruto or a Shinra would be, or a Luffy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's something to be appreciated because it's not like MC driven. But when we get to the very end of the series, you'll realize like Yuji was chosen to be the main character. It's like destiny. Bull is the truth. But trying to think, we don't really see him
It's apparently
until
until
the
the
next
next
like
season. The next season is apparently
yeah,
coming
until
back.
the next like most super critical point of the series, really.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I think it's good, especially in the calling games, because it's like, all right, you're gonna be in different colonies. You have different groups that are doing different things. So yeah, focus on one and then just move to the other ones. I just think it's very abrupt. You know what I mean? It's gonna be weird to have that be the last episode, and the next episode it's like, all right, well, where's Yuji? You know what I mean? Like if no one told me that Yuji's gonna be gone now until next season, I'd be very confused for like an episode or two where it's like, dude, like, are we just done with that? You know what I mean? Are we just gonna move on? But like when you're told it, and you're like, yo, this is how it's gonna be like shown this series, like the season. It's like, okay, that makes sense, but it's just gonna be weird for anime onlys.
And like post Shibuya, Yuji's learned nothing. He has no new techniques. He's not any
Mm-hmm.
stronger than he was when he fucking ate the finger in the very beginning. Like Yuji really hasn't learned much. Like a better control of cursed energy. He gets smoked by Choso. He gets smoked by Yuta.
Yeah, well,
He kind of beats Higuruma. He would have lost to Higuruma, like if he decided to cut him with the sword. Like Yuji basically is like this fodder character until the very end of the story. So it's hard to feel
but you
like who is
understand why
Yuji?
though. Like it makes sense. Like
Yes.
I got that
Now
spoiler.
we're
I know.
so like we flesh out Megumi, even though whether you believe he's a fraud or not, he is. But now we finally get to watch Yuta. We got to see Yuta as like a first year in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
like pre JJK. Now you get to see like the prodigy, like the second to only Gojo. Like now we get to see who the fuck Yuta is, and I think that's really important in the culling games because obviously Yuta is like a huge asset of the final fight or the final arc.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be really cool. I just think it's just like it's just like shown weird. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's very like you don't expect it, but like again, if you're told it beforehand, you're like, all right, yeah, this is gonna be cool. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be
And like
weird. Yeah.
I feel like reading it month or week to week, like when the manga was coming out, you were like constantly like, whoa, like I didn't expect that. Oh, we're jumping over here. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was exciting in a way that you were like, I have no idea what to expect. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But then when you like have that understanding and then you watch the anime and it's like, well, we're gonna think this guy sucks or like so and so XYZ. It's tough to, as an anime only, I think appreciate JJK without the manga knowledge because they do kind of like you said, you know what's coming and you can understand why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's with any source material. So it's still fucking sick. Everybody rocks. It's worth it.
Dude, I agree. The thing is that before we go on to the last thing we're gonna talk about, which is gonna be Hell's Paradise, I am. I do gotta say this. I do get annoyed when people are like, well, it's not annoyed. It's like I've gotten like burnt out on hearing about like the media literacy when it comes to JJK. What I realize that a lot of the community, if you don't agree with their opinions, you're media illiterate. You're just fucking stupid. You're just too dumb to understand it. You know what I mean? Because someone that post where it's like, all right, this is the last time we're gonna see Yuji until next season. Someone put a comment where they're like, damn, that's just like They just straight up said like, like Yuji and Gojo are like the only two characters I really fuck with. You know what I mean? Kind of just implying that like, it's gonna kind of suck because Yuji's not in it. And people are like sitting there like, oh, dude, you're just too fucking stupid. Oh, media literacy, you don't got that. Like all this shit. I'm like, it's just his opinion. Like he could understand all the other characters. He can understand what's going on and just not fucking care. You know what I mean? That is one thing where it's like, bruh, I think that some of the writing in JJK is fucking really good. At the same time, too, I think part of it's bad. And I feel like a lot of the community copes by just being like, oh yeah, you're just not smart enough to understand it. Like, no, you understand it, but it's just not portrayed well in some areas. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. I think that that's so dumb. It's getting annoying.
It's so fucking stupid. I've also always like reiterated, if you were like early in the manga, like you got those editor notes, like if you bought physical copies, you have like notes from Akutami explaining like domains and like curse techniques. Like you get those little Easter eggs or whatever that helps you understand the story better. You don't get that in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just an anime only, like you don't really get the same connotation that you do as a manga reader. And that's one thing that I guess kind of drew me to JJK before the anime came out. Like when the manga, I think I started reading within the first 10 chapters.
Yeah.
But it was like there's a bunch of author notes and stuff, and like you were able to kind of like understand it a little better than if you were just an anime only. And I think a lot of that comes down to like, you know, TikTok and Reddit and Instagram and people like not maybe understanding a very complex and like multifaceted like power system.
Yeah.
And then with every anime, you get power scalers and like, could Gojo beat, you know, Dabura from fucking Modulo? Well, it'll never happen, so it doesn't matter. It's not like a real topic of conversation. But like people just kind of like get carried away with that. And they do in like any shonen. I think JJK's biggest issue is that it's very complex and like the power system. And if you didn't read the manga, you don't get those same author notes.
I don't
Or like
even
you
think
might
it's
have
that.
to rewatch certain
I think it's just at the point where it's like yeah, there's like parts of it that are complicated that like might be a little bit tougher to pick up on, but it's just like the community now just use that as an excuse for everything. Where it's like, oh, you don't like Yuta, but you can understand Yuta fully to
read the
every
manga,
extent.
bro. Are you
Yeah,
fucking stupid?
and then
It's like
and you can just be like, yeah, I just like just don't really fuck with them, and they're like, you're just not you don't know media literacy. It's okay, you're just too fucking. It's
you
like
didn't read the
dog.
manga.
Like yeah, if
You didn't
if you don't
understand
agree
it.
with like the community, that's their comeback for everything. Even if you understand it, you know what I mean. Like the whole media literacy line has nothing to do with understanding of the anime or the manga or the series at all anymore. It's just like, you don't agree with me, you're wrong, you're too stupid, and that's the part where I'm like, dude, that's just so dumb. Like,
I think it's fucking stupid. I think there was a lot of like confusion in the manga days, like, yo, what the fuck's going on? And like that
mm-hmm.
transformed into people morphing it the wrong way. But yeah, it's very annoying. Just enjoy JJK. Most of it gets explained and like it's not that hard to figure out what happens. It's not like terribly complex. I think in the beginning, like domains and
Mm-hmm.
curse techniques were a bit confusing, but with where we're at now, I think it's much more palatable. It's not
JJ
really that hard.
JJK also is a test, isn't it? He's like trying to like test some shit out before he makes like his quote unquote masterpiece. Like JJK is
That's
not
what
even.
Akutami said. He wants to write the greatest manga ever written, and this was like his entry into the game.
Yeah, so JJK is not even meant to be like fluid or like stable or like good. You know what I mean? It's meant to experiment, to challenge certain shit, to like figure out like, okay, how can I really fucking make something incredible? You know what I mean? It's meant to be flawed. But then people are like, no, no, it is perfection. It is every sense of the word as incredible. And if you don't think so, you, my friend, are a glue eater. You fucking drink the Windex straight from the bottle.
Yeah.
And it is like, you are a pretentious cunt. All good though, bro. Like, I feel so bad for this guy who's just saying that he fucks with Yuji and Gojo. Like, I feel like that's just a that's fine. That's you know, you like your favorite characters. You know what I mean? I don't think it has anything to do with not understanding the other ones.
They're also the only two like cheery, kind of like bright characters in a very dark fucking world.
Yeah.
Megumi is emo as shit. I like Nobara. Nobara is awesome, but
Mm-hmm.
like she's been removed from the story for a little while now.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's totally valid. Yuta's personality fucking blows. He's like not very charismatic, but
Bro,
like that's part
you
of
just
his
gotta read the
charm. You know,
manga. Why don't you think that? Are you media illiterate?
as somebody who has a Gojo tattoo, I am illiterate, but as somebody who has a nah, I went out drinking with friends one time, and I got like accosted by a bum one time,
Mm-hmm.
and he like tries to show me his phone, and I was like, oh, I was never taught to read. I'm illiterate. And the guy was like, and my friends started cracking up. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to read. For whatever reason, that has stuck with me. They're like, yeah, you remember? You You told that guy you didn't know how to read? Well, I'm a JJK fan, so I wasn't really lying.
Bro, if like if you said out of nowhere though, like I could just see that taking someone by surprise and just having them die laughing. I wouldn't forget that shit either. Like that's actually bad
You
funny.
when you spin the tables on like a homeless bum, that's how you know you had a good comeback. He was just like,
He's like,
this
shit,
guy can read.
my bad, bro. But yeah,
Nah,
dude.
but like,
Yeah.
go, Jujutsu Kaisen is really good. I think it's easy to like dive too deep into it. It's a fucking shonen. I
Hmm.
think it's very well written. The power system is like unique. It's complex in a way. Don't overdo it. People can enjoy it to whatever depth they want. I don't know that other than One Piece, I've seen an anime or manga analyzed to the depths that Jujutsu Kaisen has, and you can see it clearly
Yeah.
with Modulo the sequel. So like, you don't have to go that far, and if you do, great, you love it, but don't push that on other
And
people and like reflect their opinions upon that.
it's not special either. Like it's just something where like I
No,
saw it one too many times this week, and that's why I'm like a little sassy about it, a little spicy about it. You know, I'm just like I need a vent here for a second because this poor guy who just has a fucking opinion is apparently stupid. My bad. God forbid a guy like this guy has an opinion. But it's the thing you're gonna see with any like super popular anime, you know what I mean, or series. One Piece is
it's
the
true.
same way, where you have those pretentious fucking fans that are just assholes, and it's like, all right, this is annoying. Any fan
Admiral or
base is gonna say,
Yonko? Could Kaido kill all the Yonka? Or could Kaido kill all the admirals? Probably, bro. Guy's a fucking menace. He's the strongest living creature.
yeah.
Why do we have to debate this on Reddit? You know what I mean? I hate that shit.
It's just there's whenever a series reaches at a certain point, the community just goes to crap. It's not the real community. You know what I mean? It is just way too diluted and chaotic, and that's where JJK is, which is like on one hand, you know, awesome. You know that it reached
It's how
that level of
popular it
popularity.
is, yes.
Yeah, it is a congrats. But at the same time too, it's like you can't pay attention to it. You know, because it's just like yeah, it's just not real. It's just God
Congrats,
forbid.
you've reached the mongrels of anime society. Congratulations, this is the peak. And you know what? Like, it just doesn't have to be that way, but that's where JJK's at, unfortunately.
Yeah, but hey, it's gonna be fun to watch. You know, if you're just chilling and enjoying it, I'm really excited for this season. Like I said, when I heard that and I'm like, oh yeah, you just gone. I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And I think that's the best way to do this, where you have so many different colonies. And at first, I'm like, oh, we going to each one together as a group. You know what I mean? But it's like, nah, we're actually splitting it up. You know what I mean? We're having you go here, you go here, you go here. So like having little arcs to show each one act like colonies and
Fleshing characters out,
yeah,
baby.
it's just done the best way. But anyways, let's get into Hell's Paradise. They won. Like that's absolutely insane. All I'm gonna say is this: what's Sagiri? I'm writing names down now. Sagiri
Hey.
got to her opponent. Bro's kind of like what shy. He's a little awkward, right?
Got
And
the book in front of him the whole
yeah,
time.
and he's like, "Yo, listen, I don't give a fuck. I don't. I'm not gonna fight you. I don't care. As long as you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you, bro. If she fights him, fucking stupid. Walk away. Who cares if they can read your movements? It's irrelevant. You know what I mean? They're so strong where if you pick a fight that like you're not necessarily gonna win, don't fucking do it. Her strength is so much better if she goes and rotates to help another group. You know what I mean? Or to help
Yeah.
aid Gabimaro, but she can heal him. You know what I mean? If she's like, no, like we're gonna have to fight this, I'm like, bro, like just stop, just please don't. Like this is an out. You have an out to not confront somebody who's like a fucking god. Like I'm gonna be annoyed if they fight.
It's also like a great writing point. Like, she has the choice to like back off. And like, she kind of tests the waters a few times. Like, she leans to the left and my boy's got the book and like leans with her,
Yeah,
leans the other
and
way.
you
And
can
she's
tell
like,
he's
oh shit.
strong. Like that guy
Like,
can.
I'm absolutely, yeah, like I'm absolutely outclassed. She can leave with the little girl, go back to Gabby Mara, regroup, and as like a fan or the audience, you're like, Sagiri, don't do it, don't do it.
Yeah,
And then he's just like, oh yeah, bow your head. She fucking like gets crushed by this gravity thing. So for me, I'm like, don't do this shit, don't fuck up Sagiri. But that fight, dude, very entertaining. I'm so glad both Chobe and his brother like made it through, and it was really good teamwork with like original enemies. You know what I mean? Like Chobe was not trying to work with anybody. And like you hear from Toma, his brother, he's like, you know, this is how he talks when he's like leading the boys, when he's trying to
yeah.
coordinate troops. And he's like, well, I need you, you know, you're the strongest guy in 7 different districts. And he's like, oh, yeah, yeah, I am that badass. Like, all right, yeah, I'll do it for you. Like, just that kind of camaraderie with those four, I think was great. And I still don't know, whatever the fuck his name is. Lemon, Asaman Lemon Man.
Oh yeah.
He played a great part. Him like tagging up with Toma to like grab hands and like use the towel. Really, really fun, really cool. I thought it was a great way to like influence the power system and kind of like, you're literally like attacking God. These guys are gods,
Hmm.
and then they're fusing together on top of it. For them to kind of like cut through them that way, I thought was really cool.
And what I think is cool too is that it wasn't just a great fight. We were able to still hate them, but feel bad for them at the same time towards the end. You know what I mean? Where like it was like the flashbacks, but like it also felt like the same ending to the entertainment district for Demon Slayer. I brought that up last episode, but it's like the same ending where it was like them like reuniting or like making peace right at the end, and like they dropped like those seedlings and they let them rest both together, which is nice, so they can like still be together. I thought that that was all
So
like,
sweet, dude.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like they had to die, but like, you felt a little sad. You know what I mean? You felt a little bad.
I want to say he was like a dandelion. I could be
Yeah, he was a
wrong.
dandelion. She was a peach.
And like the way like he puts the peach next to the
Yeah,
dandelion and like the flower like
yeah,
fuck you, Mappa.
they got us
Oh,
on that one.
beautiful. Oh, sad for the villain. Okay, all right, Mappa. Keep it going. Switch the fight. But then like we cut to the blind guy and uh let's
Oh
see
yeah,
girl.
oh dude,
I
that's
I
gonna be a fucking fight where it's just like,
what
let's
the
just
fuck
brute
is her
force this
name?
motherfucker. Yeah, his new apprentice that he met on the island, dude. That's gonna be awesome. Where he's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna rip this fucker apart until they can't regenerate anymore. It's like, yeah, 1,000 times. If they regenerate 1,000 times,
Die.
they'll lose strength. And he's like, all right, fuck it. He's like, good news. It's not gonna be 1,000, but it's probably like 700 as he's gassed.
Bro, so good. And he's like literally dying. He's
Yeah,
out of steam. And for the first time, you've seen one of the Tensen, like he half-ass regenerates, and he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? You people are crazy."
yeah.
And like newer guys, just like this guy's nuts. But he literally just keeps cutting him down, and they don't even have a good Tao matchup too. Rien, I think 2 or 3 episodes before, it was like they'll surely die, easy fight, easy win.
Hmm.
It's been the complete opposite. But they're running out of like steam, they're running out of Tao. That's been like a fight I really want to see kind of develop. But also, we have to get back to Gabby Maru, bro. What my boy got literally stomped into the earth, got his ribs crushed. He's about to die, and then it's like, all
It's
right, well, what's up?
it's not just that too. Like one thing we learned from Security that's really important and why it's like, yo, leave that fucking fight. Rian's leaving the island. He has that boat that he has loaded up. He's gonna go infest the entire world. You know what I mean? So not only do you guys have to win, you have to beat the clock. You have to get there before the boat leaves. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you have to clean up some of these fights and get a move on. Because like it's gonna be really bad. The butterflies, bro, you can just see that shit running like wildfire, infecting everybody. Yeah,
Yo,
dude.
and Siguri has that clip where he like
It's
bites her
stung.
on the hand. I'm like, "Ugh, get
Oh
it off, get
I'm
it
like,
off."
yeah, bro, fuck that.
And I love the like little designs, like they got those weird, creepy heads, and
Hmm.
like it's super good, but also like badass plan. Rian was like, yeah, this was all like just like a lab, basically, a
Yeah.
setup. We're out of here. We're about to go like fucking take over.
Hmm.
So like not only they on the clock for these like fights against God, they got to get to Rian. And basically the strongest people are out of commission. Gabby Maru's getting fucked up. Shion is on his last leg, and Nurugai's terrified. Sagiri has no idea what to do. Hopefully she goes back. I have no idea what happens. I'm glad I didn't spoil it. And then we also have Shugen,
Emo Sasuke. I mean Walmart
Emo
Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Timo Sasuke.
We got Timu Sasuke, Mr. Angsty Sharingan.
Yeah.
And then we got the first captain from Bleach. I think his name's Kiriraku. Basically reminds me of the purple-haired guy who's like, oh, I don't want to be here. And then he's low-key OP as fuck.
Yeah.
He just wants to like chill and drink all day, but he's like godly powerful. That squad and the Shinobi are gonna show up and fuck shit up. It's just hard to see like what angle everybody comes in at, because I don't know. You know what I mean? We're at a very cool crossroads for like the final fight. Hell's Paradise has just been, I think, by far and away the best anime this season. I want to give a lot of love to Sentence to Be a Hero, but Hell's Paradise has been nothing but flawless.
Gonna
Every
be
week.
crazy because we are literally at episode 9. We're about to get episode 10. That we just talked about episode 9, and it's like, bruh, like we have like what, 3 episodes left? 4? You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna end it? Like, is it really the last season? Because I'm the one who's saying it's the last season. I'm the only one. I don't think anyone else has said anything. I'm assuming it is because there's so little chapters left in the manga. I know the manga goes to like the 127,
Yeah.
and each season has been 60. So I'm like, this has to be the last season. But like, no one has said that. So like, are we getting a season 3 or like a movie to end it? Because like, how are we gonna resolve all of this in 4 eps? Especially like when you said Like Walmart Sasuke hasn't even appeared yet. You know what I mean?
Walmart
Yeah, he's
Sasuke,
got it.
it's
He's
so good.
always Walmart Sasuke. He can't be anything else.
I just want to say, like, going off like my weeb knowledge, Kaiju number 8 feels very similar in length and like pacing
Hmm.
to Hell's Paradise, just based on chapter numbers and like how quickly the anime moved. I think this is it. I think they're gonna tie it up, and that'll be like the end of it. It's very hard to see the way forward. It's one of the very few things I haven't spoiled for myself.
Yeah,
So it's like, where does everybody come in? Where does Shinobi act? What happens with Gabimaru, who's like basically fucking dead?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many variables right now, which just I think speaks to how great Hell's Paradise is. You've built up this climax with so many loose ends. It's hard not to think like, damn, this is really impressive.
dude, I can't wait. Like, I really am so excited. This is one of the craziest, awesomest series ever. And the fact that
I
if this is the
agree.
end, we're only getting 2 seasons. It's fucking illegal. Like, are you telling me you're gonna fucking drop this shit and it's gonna be 2 fucking seasons and it's like, oh yeah, that's enough. That feels good. It's like, dog, like why? I love these fucking characters. I think these fights are insane. I would love to see them go back to the mainland. You know what I mean? And now see how they interact because
Yeah.
you had like the because like it's pretty much like officers and criminals that are going to this island, and now they're so much more than that. You know what I mean? Like they become friends. So how
Yes.
are they going to all interact, especially with different places in society? If they were to go back to the mainland, like that would be like so cool for like a season or something. But it seems like nah, they're just gonna take care of the island, and that's gonna be the end of the series, which is fucking so sad, but amazing. It was absolutely perfect, and honestly, the way I think it should be done. This is a hot take. I think shonens should be 2 to 3 seasons max. Absolutely max. For the same reason of what we were talking about in Fire Force at the beginning of this episode, where shonens get dragged on for too long, and what happens is that they out power scale everything, where you're destroying planets, and it's just completely like, all right, like get a grip. Like this is just outrageous. But then also too, it loses its momentum. I mean, I think even Naruto a little bit because that's like my shonen to like go to with this kind of stuff. Like it was like the same thing with Fire Force where it gets towards the end and some of the fights that should be more exciting are just not as they don't hit as hard. You know what I mean? Or all they are those big fights and everything else in between is just garbage. You know what I mean? I feel like shonen needs to be cut down shorter because it just loses that fire towards the end. It burns out too quick.
And get back to like the story. Work towards a central story rather
Yeah.
than just like, we have 50 badass characters. Let's make them fight all the time and like
Hmm.
intermingle. And like, I guess another part of it, and we've talked on the pod before about this, like, our attention spans are a lot shorter than they were when we were younger. Like, we're not getting another One Piece that runs for 30 years or another
Yeah.
Naruto that runs for like 800
To be
chapters.
fair, One Piece is the only one to do One Piece things. It's not like it's ever been that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. That was never a trope. That was never a thing.
That was never, yeah.
Oh shit. Well, like Dragon Ball Z's been like really long and all going, but not at
True.
like a quality level like One Piece.
Yeah.
Like One Piece is like a true like Shakespearean level story. Like
Yeah.
that's like gonna go down as one of the greatest modern works of fiction ever.
Hmm.
Let me chill. I mean, not glaze out it too hard here. We're not talking about One Piece, but like there's so many shonens that I think burn the candle a little too long. Our attention spans are shorter.
I think the ice cream truck's outside. Speaking of attention spans.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah. Just, you hear the little jingle, and you're like, oh,
Oh, I know. He goes down Gerard.
dude, the
Like,
SpongeBob popsicles, bro, with the gummy eyeballs.
I like this, the Sonic one, the Sonic the Hedgehog one.
Sonic Saga one. Yeah.
Low key, a big Sonic fan. Always will be. Love Sonic. Used to read the
Understandable.
comics as a little kid.
I swear, the
That's
day
cool.
the day where Naruto has his own, it's gonna be perfect.
We'll be like old, we'll have kids and be like, oh, hey, get the Naruto one. He's like, Dad, I don't like Naruto. You're gonna get the Naruto one. Fuck SpongeBob.
Fuck
You have to
SpongeBob.
do it because. Yeah, I love SpongeBob. I also grew up on SpongeBob.
Oh my god.
But
Attention
going back to Hell's
spans.
Paradise.
Yeah, what were we saying about the low attention spans again?
Uh, uh, uh. Basically just proved our point in beautiful fashion. Well
Yeah.
done. It was not scripted.
By accident.
It was not scripted.
Oh my god.
Hell's Paradise is excellent, and like to have been this involved with it for so long and not be able to like be like, oh yeah, they're gonna fight so and so, like this guy will kill this guy, like the Tencent will lose here, and then we get back home safe and Gabby Mara sees his wife.
Yeah.
I feel like that's great writing. Like we really don't know what's gonna happen.
And like I said, like I think that it'd be cool to have like longer animes, like going for more seasons. I just don't think Shonen's built for it. You know what I mean? Because like like One Piece, of course, like it's bad because like there's not many like One Piece, but like Bleach is the
It's an
same way.
outlier though.
Like they were able to keep suspense even after hundreds of episodes. I feel like a lot of shonens these days they're not able to do that. You know what I mean? And then pacing becomes a problem. People start losing interest, and it just becomes a whole fucking mess. I just don't think, like, again, like you said, in this day and age, like shonens are what's built for. Like I think you can do so much more elsewhere. You know what I mean? But like Hell's Paradise being 2 seasons, it's like it sucks. But I'd rather it end and be like, damn, I wish there was more than just being like, dude, another fucking season. Like, are we for real
Get the
right now?
Tokyo Ghoul curse, bro. I don't want to see anything suffer like the Tokyo Ghoul curse or like dragged out for the sake of being dragged out.
Yeah.
Like, you're exactly right. I'd rather watch something like Kaiju number 8. I feel the same way about like it ends quick. But you're like, damn, that was a good
It
story.
ends on
Like
a
that was
high note.
fun.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It was a great series. Like I can't wait to see what the author does next. They didn't burn 25 years of their life doing this. You know what I mean?
Dude.
And not to
But no,
not
what
to
you
say
just
that
said,
One
though.
Piece and Naruto and Bleach are not like a legendary status. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
great. I just think in the day and age of like where we're at, especially as a society, keep it to 2 to 3 seasons, and then you have shit like Classroom of the Elite. You know, you're going on your 4th season, but it's still tense. You're interested. Like it just has to fit for that length. But we're not really in a place where we need 5, 6, 7 seasons.
All right. Three things. Three things. One, like you said, mangaka's health, like the artists and stuff, it's always being brought
Yeah,
up. If you have shorter series, it's like it's so much better for them, mentally and physically. Like the longevity we'd have, and we'd have more mangas who have multiple series that are like hitting. You know what I mean? It would just be better. Two, Classroom of the Elite is it two or is 2 and 3 the same? I don't know. I got confused. Classroom of the Elite, it's not necessarily shonen, right? Like that kind of proves my point.
no, yeah,
Where like it's shonens that like lose that fire, that spark. But that's what I'm saying. Like even though we have shorter attention spans, there are other animes that can have longer series because they're able to just like keep with it. And Classroom of the Elite 2, I also heard it's about to peak. There is like another test, I guess, that's coming up that is very like, oh yeah, yeah, this is bringing back like the season one, season
sick.
two feels where it's like this is the best that they've ever had. So I'm really excited. The new season is coming out next anime season, so we're hyped for that. It's gonna be what, the spring? Are we in now?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
So yeah, what fucking season is it? But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, as it's fucking sweating, 'cause it's like 70 degrees outside. I wonder what season it is. But
I
I, I'm
know.
stoked for that. Like I can't wait. That's gonna be so cool. But like, yeah, it just kind of proves the point where it's like you got to know when to like cut loose. Like if it ends and you're wanting more, it ended at the right spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it has you like wanting more as
Mm-hmm.
as like the author or the artist. Like they want more from me, or they want more from the medium. You did a good job.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I feel like when you go on too long, it's just bad. And I feel that with a couple of series where I'm just like I've dropped, like I can't for my safety say what series I have in fact dropped, but I have stopped watching some popular animes just because they're on their fifth, sixth season, and it just doesn't feel the same as when I first picked up the anime. Because it's just got dragged on for too long. It's an isekai, but like we're not gonna get into it. But like isekais are like
We'll
shonen, so we're like you
save
can't.
that for another pod.
Yeah, like dude, isekais are the same way. We're like I feel like isekais are really good, but you have to keep them quick because like a lot of the stuff is like so overdone. You know what I mean? You kind of have to
Can
like
only do so much. Yeah.
exactly. You know what I mean? But hey, anime is killing it. Like we've been talking about, it's a blessing and a curse. So with that being said, hopefully with next season, I'm personally five or six new animes that come out, and even that seems like a lot, but it's better than the
Trying to hit a sleeper.
it's better than the literal 15 I'm watching like as they're dropping right now.
I know.
Five or six, it's a decent amount, but like it's a lot less. But that also means that hopefully we'll be talking about like dropping other videos of other animes that have been out for a minute. I know there's a lot that I haven't seen yet that are like goated, like legendary legacy kind of animes, like dude, I always forget this one. The Brotherhood anime, The
Oh,
Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, I gotta watch that, bro.
You gotta.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it till I was like 25 or probably 28.
Hmm.
I got like halfway in and I'm like, it's good. Like I don't really
Everyone
get it. And
says
then I
that.
watched the next 2 episodes. I was like, oh my god, this is what they talk about. This is the standard for anime.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Everyone says that the beginning fucking sucks and it's like way longer than the 3 episode rule. It's like 15, 20 episodes. But if you make it past there, you're gonna think it's the greatest 10 out of 10 you've ever witnessed. People just get bored within the first 20 episodes.
I remember now 33, episode 33. I was like, like I've been in this for a while, like,
They
and then I
got
watched like to episode 40, and I was like, no, this is it. This anime fucking rocks. Nah, it's a 10 out of 10. Full Metal Alchemist is one of the best ever.
they really got confused with the 3 episode rule, huh? Someone accidentally put an extra
Okay.
3.
Time to put some time in, man, if you want to enjoy it.
Yeah, but dude, that's what I'm saying. We gotta have more time to binge a lot of these other animes and really find out some other sleeper ones because all the sleepers that we've done, there's a playlist. I can link it at the end of the video. They've all been phenomenal fucking animes. Like animes that we were like, yo, holy fucking peak, like just so fucking good, and it's just the best. Because we even talked about earlier, it's not just good, it's not just amazing. You're not like, oh, where's this been? It's just an awesome binge. But then you see someone talking about it, and you're like, I see you, I know.
Ball. Ball.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So hopefully next season, even though it is going to be disgusting, it is going to be absolutely stacked. We're hopefully going to be binging a lot of other animes that are already out, already completed, or missing those like season 2s. We just drop a season of fucking Peak and then decide, no, it's not going to get a season 2. Okay, no worries. Okay.
All right.
But hopefully we'll be making more videos on them. So if you're interested, keep a lookout. But that is it. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal week. And hope you guys are ready because there's just so much incredible anime. I hope you guys are enjoying. But anyways, guys, later. See you next weekend. Peace.